So soon, maybe, Russell, oh, Russell will be here in 5 Minuten. He's learning German. For God's sake. It's not enough that he knows English and Spanish and Italian, but now German. Smarty pants. One smart cookie is that Russell. Hello, Ms. Marilyn. How are you? Would you like to join me live for a few minutes before Russell gets here? Or Goro, would you like to join me for a few minutes before Russell gets here? I see. Well, I'm doing okay. Do you see Nicola Pang at your pen meetups, Marilyn, or is he too far north? I think he's near San Francisco, so that might be too far north of you. Well, if you see him, say hi to him from me. Tell him I'll probably see him in Philadelphia, though not entirely positive I'm going to go. Okay, that's fine. The holidays do traumatize us. So my friend Ted Clausen just gave me pens the other day to fix for him, and I found a little gift I'm going to present him. So don't tell him what I'm going to do. He's getting his, he just got his master's in poetry, learning to write poetry. And I thought, what a perfect little gift to him would be this pen. It's a Palmer penmanship pen award, but it says for progress in writing. And I thought, well, that would be a nice little gift to give him, since he is progressing in writing. So that will be in his stocking. Should I put a sack on this pen? Why not? While I'm here waiting for Russell to join me. This is one of those pens that it has a beautiful nib on it, but the pen is sort of bent up and broken, so if I lose it, I won't be too upset. I'll be upset, of course, but I won't be heartbroken upset. But it does have this very nice, yummy nib on it. And I figured I'll use it until it falls apart on me. Okay, come on, get in there. It's one of these that's a little bit loose, the section is, so I'll put a little piece of tape in it to thicken it up. No, there's no crunching. It just must be my old bones you're hearing. Maybe. Is that what you're hearing? Yeah, see, this is a little bit loose, and that just drives me crazy. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a little tiny piece of tape. Do I have a little tiny piece of tape that I can use for this? I do. So here is a little tiny piece of masking tape. And all I want to do is cut a little tiny wedge. Just that much. And that will thicken. Why is that wet? I don't get that. Okay, that's too big. It has to be thinner than that. Just that much. Just this little tiny bit of paper to put right there. That's still too thick. No, it's working. Okay, so that's in there tight now, just by adding that little bit of thickness. I probably should have used just a piece of paper rather than this tape is a little thick. Oh, I don't know. Usually when I'm playing with pens, I'm nude. No, that's not true. Okay, so let's put some ink in this baby. Okay, I've got ink in here. I have ink in this other pen. So I'm just waiting for Russell to show up. Okay, what's going on here? Nothing. So what would you like Russell and I to draw? We don't have to draw the same thing. We could draw different things. I'm looking forward to catching up with him. I haven't seen him in a long while, and or talked to him in a while, so it might just be us catching up with gossip. Oh, I haven't drawn a naked man in a long time. I could do that. You're ready to draw, Russell. Okay, I'll invite you. Invite. Copy link. Copied. Paste. Go. Okay, Russell, click on the link and then turn off your YouTube, and that way we won't get an echo, and we'll start in drawing something. Oh, Russell. There's Russell. And to stay.
I haven't got anything set up to hold this phone here. Let me see if I can get something. Sorry, I keep getting messages and getting held up. How is your day today here?
How's my day today? It's okay. I am looking forward to gossiping with you as we draw.
Always a good time. Let me see if I can get this turned around here.
So what was it that made you want to learn German?
Well, part of it is as simple as the fact that in order to progress further, at least as far as scholarly stuff goes in art history, one for many programs has to learn 3 languages. So, you know, I already know Spanish and Italian, and I figured I like a lot of German artists, and I like Three Penny Opera and all that. So I figured, why not just learn German?
Well, good idea. Good man.
I'm getting to the point where I can read pretty good, but as I've told you, I just had oh, that's upside down, ain't it? Oh, whatever. As I've told you, I've just got off the phone with a native German speaker, and you know, the results of my own speaking were not surprising to me. I did not speak so well, but one learns through mistakes.
One does.
I hate this thing.
Or sometimes you never learn from your mistakes. You just keep making them over and over and over again. Not you, but some people we know.
That sounds like certain people, yes. Nobody in this room.
The thing is, the sad thing is, the mistakes they make, they don't know are mistakes.
No, they seem to think that those are. Okay, there's no way I can get this set up here.
Well, it's fine now. Oh, you're not holding
That's
it.
because I'm holding it. Yeah.
I see. I have a suggestion.
The books.
Do you have a set of 8 books and a ruler and a piece of tape?
Yes, I know this trick. I'm gonna have to move my drawing board.
Well, it's this trick Goro used to great advantage when he has done it, and I think other people have when you don't have the correct tripods and all that crap.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Get it set up. I'm sorry that I continue to do this whenever we try to do these drawing sessions. I need to eventually just get a decent mounts for this phone.
Again, nothing is as good as a stack of books and a ruler and a rubber band.
Mhm.
It works perfectly. Except
I'm getting it.
because it also, I mean, a tripod, the legs of the tripod, one of the legs will be in your way and another leg will be casting a shadow or worse. So it's
Yeah.
and the thing I'm using here is a one of those desk lamps with a clamp on it with the elbowy thing, and even that.
I don't know why it's continually upside down. That'll have to do, right?
Yeah, we can be upside down. It's fine.
I mean,
you just rotate if you rotate the camera.
I rotated the camera.
Okay. Okay, so it keeps righting itself.
I just do not have the. Wait a minute. I don't have to be at my desk. I can go to the other table in here.
You can go to the other table. Yes. Who needs a desk? All you need is a table.
This is how I live my life, folks.
Ms. Marilyn Darling, the tripod. There are things that hold iPads and phones that do work, but they're not tripods. They're iPhone or iPad holders, and they clamp to the desk or the table. Those are fine. The actual 3-legged devices that would hold a camera don't work very well.
Yeah, they're hard to deal with.
Draining with Russell. Okay. Well, I'm draining with Russell. We'll just drain together. How about?
Yeah.
Rather than drawing with Russell, but
It's the autocorrect.
yes. The problem with me specifically with typing incorrectly in the first place is one eye doesn't work very well, and if I have both eyes open and functioning, I sort of see double, so my fingers never seem to hit the right letter, and then I don't bother to spell check myself, proofread my little blurbs. So anyway.
Is that good? Are we all right?
Well, so far, we see part of your drawing. Can your ruler come out further from the books so we don't see the books?
Have to get it taped up to this ruler first.
So Russell posted this absolutely stunningly beautiful drawing of a platypus for some reason. Can I show them that? Well, I will, whether you like it or not, Russell. I'll show them the drawing.
I don't have too much choice, and that's okay. Is that good?
Perfect.
Let me put some tape on this baby.
So here is this drawing that Russell did of a platypus, but look at the beautiful texture he got in the tail of this platypus. And its little claws and its duck bill. How is he so damn good?
I have the benefit of lots of photos existing online.
You have the benefit of talent.
Anyway, those are studies for something else. Let me get a blank page for you here, and then we'll see what we can get up to. Sie macht Spaß. Sie macht Spaß.
Good. I see a pencil.
Yes, I can also get some of these pencils here too. So what shall we begin with? Or are we beginning with anything in particular?
Nope. Anything in particular. Just go where you want us to go.
Okay. I have no idea where I'm going until I get there.
I'm just gonna make some doodles and get them wet with ink and see what happens. Water and see what happens. This is sort of a stubby-nibbed, flexible Skyline pen.
What brand of fountain pen is it?
Eversharp Skyline.
Oh, okay. I know the Eversharp line because I can't forget their name. Eversharp is ever in mind.
It is.
Oh, there was also I showed you a while ago. There was an advertisement for Eversharp in the magazine that was lent to the museum.
Uh-huh.
And when the only reason we have the magazine, of course, is because it had an article on Salvador Dali in it. I think that was when he visited Virginia.
Okay.
But I was just looking through the magazine, and I remember I sent you the advertisement with Eversharp in it.
Yeah. So what is the Dolly show is still up, is it?
Yes, it's still up. It'll be up till February unless, terrible things keep happening.
And you told me, I think, that your boss left. Was that correct?
So the head curator left. She was my supervisor, basically.
Uh-huh.
And she did that because, I don't think anybody from the museum is watching, but basically because they put way too much on her.
I see.
And she it was an unsustainable situation for her. I will just say that.
Okay. What's the next show after Dolly?
The next show is going to be a show of Scottish art.
Scottish art. Okay.
Yes, we have a collector who I guess approached us a year or two ago before I came in and said, I have this collection of Scottish art. And what do you want to show it, basically? And they decide, and the director is very fond of the Scottish heritage that we have here in Virginia. And so that's one of the big reasons it's coming in.
Huh.
What they don't know is I'm using the show as an excuse to do some research, partially on Sir Walter Scott and the Ossian cycle, but also on the Highland clearances.
Okay. I don't know what those are, but
So the Highland clearances, are you guys ready? Are you ready for your history?
it sounds like ethnic cleansing, is it? Sort of.
Well, that's what some of the Scottish people call it.
Okay.
Some of them call it genocide because what
Okay.
effectively happened was you in Scotland, even up until like the early years, let's say, of the Industrial Revolution in England, right?
Yeah.
Uh, in Scotland, they were still operating on what was basically a demi-feudal system. So
Okay.
they still had what they called crofters,
Okay.
and
Farmer.
those crofters, they paid a small amount of rent and they were allowed to live on the farm, but they also basically culturally considered themselves as members of a clan. And so they also believed they had like a historical right to the land they were living on, even though it's a little bit more complicated than that, but I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
thing you need to know is that they were living as they had more or less the same for hundreds of years. Now, when industrialization starts to go on and the noblery and the landowners accrue more and more debt because they want to have their extravagant lifestyles,
Yeah.
the demands of capital become such that it becomes very much less expedient for the landlords to keep people on their land because it's much better for them to keep sheep.
I see.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, and,
You can
well,
eat sheep. You can eat sheep.
well,
You
it's not
can't
they
eat
don't even
people.
keep the sheep; they want the wool. And here's the thing: they don't keep the sheep themselves. They rent out the land. They want to rent
Yeah.
out the land to shepherds because it's much easier. Think about it like this. As a landlord, you have two options. You can either rent out to a bunch of basically peasants who are going to farm off the land and they're not going to be able to pay you much rent and they're going to want to live there their entire lives. And
Yeah.
they're also going to do things like subdivide their rents. They're also going to, they're going to build there. They're going to do unpredictable things. It's going to be hard to move them out. Or you can hire to one sheep farmer who's just going to load a bunch of sheep onto that land, and you can charge him a higher rent and only have to deal with one person on one big block of land. What are you going to do?
Well, I know what I do.
Yes, you know what you do because you do the profitable thing. You'd kick all of those people off of their land and
Yeah.
you'd rent out so that you can replace them with sheep. So, what happened is crofters essentially, like from the 1760s right up until the 1880s, when the Crofters Act was enacted, right?
Yeah.
There was a way, there were consistent waves of clearances, is what they called them, where the landlords would essentially either raise the rents up to extremely unsustainable rates, right? Or they would outright kick people right out of their houses. And the best way for them to ensure that the peasants would not come back was
They would. I don't know. What did they do?
well, some of the landlords gave them a bit of money and said, "Here, go and build a house by the coast, and you go and collect kelp, and you go and fish."
Okay.
Some of the landlords did that, and some didn't. But all of the landlords burnt their houses down.
Okay.
Yes,
Well.
because according to at least some accounts from shepherds at the time, the crofters, if you did not burn their house down, would move their cattle off of their land or just leave for a bit, and then their house would be dismantled, and then they would come back and find the wood and build their house again when nobody was looking.
Okay, well,
Because they didn't want to leave, because
okay.
living there for some of the families lived on their land for 100 or 200 years. So how can you blame them, right?
No.
So anyway, that happened, and it really caused a lot of economic strife, and it was around the and so that the whole factor plays in actually to Sir Walter Scott's popularity, because at the time he's romanticizing this idea of what the Highland society looked like, this idea of this primitive clan society of honor and stuff like that. And so once the Highlands get into the popular consciousness, partially by way of the trouble with the clearances, uh, you know, uh, you get art and literature about Scotland, and you get a lot of discourse about Scotland that plays into the artistic culture. So
I see.
and you see that showing up in some of the paintings this guy is lending us. So I'm using his paintings partially as illustrations to show the unjust ways in which people
Treat each other.
Yes, basically.
Examples of humans being human.
Yes, exactly. They don't know about that yet, but once it's done, they won't be able to say anything about it except you're fired.
Well, I have a feeling that they would not say that to you.
I don't think
You're far too valuable for them to say that to you. Paint with pencils, says this pencil. This must be a watercolor pencil.
Yeah, unlike the Crofters, I'm hard to replace.
You're hard to replace.
I would like to think so.
Well, I know so. I know you would be very difficult to replace, Russell.
But that's the plan I have for the next exhibition. I'm since I'm able to do it in a way that I think is pretty interesting, I think it should be a good one.
Good. You're making it looks like a fish, part of it.
Some kind of death's head, actually.
What is it? It's a fish with an ear? What are you making? What are you drawing, Russell?
Face. Or at least it looks like a face to me, but I'm not really taking it all that seriously.
Well, it looks like a face of a fish.
Russell, how did you get to be such a good drawer? Proceeds to draw something which I mistake for a fish.
Well, I see fishes everywhere, as you know.
Oh yes, I do. I do recall that. Yes.
So I'll draw a fish.
No, actually, when the fellow I was speaking with, I wasn't sure how to interpret it, but I showed him the drawing of the platypus, and he said "süß," which is the German for sweet. So
Sweet.
I don't know whether he meant sweet as in adorable, or whether he meant sweet as in the English sort of phrase, but whatever.
And this is the guy that you were talking on the phone that's helping you with German?
Yeah, nice guy. Great. Speaks a great English. Has a British accent.
Oh, cool. And where did you meet him? What dark alley?
There's an alley of the internet called Conversation Exchange that I use, where I meet foreigners who are looking to learn a language.
So they're looking to learn English, and you're looking to learn German, and you listen to each other and correct each other when you...
Yeah, you just basically do a conversation. So the way it tends to work out for me is that we schedule an hour for sometime, and then then we speak in English for 30 minutes, and then we speak in whatever other language for 30 minutes. That's how I met all my Italians.
Okay. And how's our dear Italian friend?
The Italians are doing fine. We were sending messages the other day, I and Leonardo. What was it about? I can't remember what we were talking about. The last thing we were talking about was the great name change that's coming to the Kennedy Center.
Oh, yes.
The Trump Kennedy Center.
The Trump Kennedy Center.
Yeah.
Of Performing Arts.
Of Performing Arts.
Now, what does Donald J. Trump know about performing arts? I'd like to know.
Well, he's managed to fake his way through everything in life, so I suppose he should do something about acting.
Making another fish here.
Let me see if I can get this phone up a little bit more.
Do fishes have eyelashes? Well, this one does.
Yeah, they would need eyelashes to keep all the salt out of their eyes.
So, and what did Leonardo say about?
He basically the only thing he sent me after I sent him that message with the news. The only thing he did was send a hand palm emoji.
A hand palm? What?
A hand palm, a face palm emoji.
A face palm
emoji. Yeah, with a. Damn it! Do I need one more book to lay this down? Maybe. No.
You're doing fine, Russell.
But yeah, he was. I think he found the whole thing absolutely ridiculous because it absolutely is absolutely ridiculous.
It's hard to not see the ridiculousness of it, the pettiness, and the demanding a peace prize from FIFA. Like, what the hell does the World Soccer Federation have to do with peace?
Well, I mean, I suppose it certainly does take balls to give a peace prize to Donald Trump. So then you know that the soccer team has balls.
They have balls, those soccer boys.
The only thing that Donald Trump has is a can that he kicks down the road.
He's just awful.
He's a product of the system we built up around ourselves.
Yes, we can't blame.
A man like that in any sensible world would have no success in life, would die in a very cold, very dark place. But because we have not built up a sensible world around ourselves, he has come to dominate.
Did Matt and I watched last night the movie 1,000 Clowns? Do you know that movie?
1,000 Clowns. It sounds like the White House.
You have to watch this movie, Russell. You will absolutely love it. 1966, I think it came out, and it stars Jason Robards as this counterculture guy in New York City who's raising his nephew because his sister, who gave birth to the nephew, sort of just showed up one day, dropped him off, and then disappeared. And so he's having difficulty with the social services because the kid doesn't go to school all the time and is way smarter than the teachers are. So he gets into trouble for being so smart. And so they meet with Jason Robards at his apartment that looks kind of like my apartment, overstuffed with all sorts of shit. And It's this lovely movie. It's just beautiful. And so promise me you'll watch that.
I'll look it up. I'll see if I can find it.
I
It's
think it's
on
on
YouTube.
it's on YouTube and it's free. You can watch the whole goddamn thing. I think it might be a movie that your family might enjoy. If do you watch movies as a family unit or not?
Not usually. But in my experience as a child, I would put on a movie asking to watch it with my parents, and then they would sit down, and after the first 10 minutes of the movie, they would leave, and then then I would watch the movie maybe with my brothers.
Okay. Um, well, it's a movie that I think you will enjoy yourself, but it's fun to watch with someone else because parts of it are quite funny, parts of it are very profound, parts of it are rather sad, and it's just a lovely movie to enjoy with another person. So I'm just gonna play you one little tiny bit of it.
Okay.
Uh, Thousand Clowns. No, let me see if I can find the trailer for it. Here's the theatrical trailer. So you'll like this.
Heck, in a moment,
Watch.
heck, in a moment, you're going to see a horrible thing. People going to work. Maladjusted. Shape up. Mess.
Murray?
Murray. Neighbors. I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say something must be done about your garbage cans in the alley here. It is definitely second-rate garbage. How about next week? I want to see the last of garbage. And let's stop it up. Yes, sir. That's my baby.
Is this your favorite toy, Nick? It's got an electric battery timer in there that makes it go on and off like that. But tell me, Nick, you like that's the fact that the chest of the lady lights up? Well, you got to admit you don't see movies like that every day.
No, sir. I don't mean maybe. You crazy nut. I was ready to kill you.
Don't let me go.
I'm just putting my coffee cup down here. Yes, sir. That's
My baby now.
I gotta know what day it is. I gotta know what's the name of the game and what the rules are without anyone else telling me. You gotta own your own days and name them. Each one of them. Every one of them. Or else the years go right by and none of them belong to you. Oh, by the way. You know what you are. Maladjusted. Yes, by the way. Hurry, I can't watch this. Shape up. Shape up. When we meet, the preacher will say.
And sometimes if we're in a crowded elevator someplace, he'll turn to me and he'll say, Max, there'll be no more of this self-pity. Now you're 40, it's time you got used to being a midget.
Yes, sir, that's my baby. No, sir. Sooner or later, you'll fall in love with 1,000 clowns. That's my baby now.
Jason Robards.
By the way. Yes, by the way. When we meet, the preacher will say, yes, sir, that's my baby. No, sir, I don't mean maybe. Yes, sir, that's my baby now.
It's a lovely movie. I don't know if that made you want to watch it or not, but
I'll definitely keep it in mind. it's one of those things where I have the time.
I think you'll I think you'll be pulled right into it because of the Nick, the 13-year-old boy, and his uncle have such this strange relationship that they're sort of best friends, and they're really sweet anyway, and they're unconventional. Everything that we're told not to be in this goofy little world.
Well, I don't feel like the world has any right to tell us to be not to be unconventional at this point, because I don't think that there's anything right going on right now that one could describe as conventional.
Probably not. I mean, one is able to use 4-letter words in conversation because, of all people, our president has decided that that's perfectly fine. And if our president can be so gross and crass and get away with it, so can I.
Do you think if I called the president Piggy, he would like it?
I think, depending on the context, if he was
So if I happened to meet him and said, "Hey, Piggy,"
well, if you saw him at an orgy and he was chowing down on 4 or 5 women, and however he interconnects with them, and you said, "Hey, that you're a pig," he would probably agree with you and think that's a compliment. Would be my guess.
that's not a bad guess, I'd say.
Oh, fun fact, the actor that played the boy also did the voice of Donatello in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Very good.
I haven't seen those, but the actor that plays the boy is quite well known. I think he did a number of movies where he was in that age group, whatever that age group was. 13-year-old ish. 1,000 clowns. Let's find out what his filmography is. 1,000 blows. Did I say 1,000 blows? I said 1,000 clowns.
I don't think you said 1,000 blows. You said 1,000 clowns before.
Clowns. Well, it showed up as 1,000. There we go.
It's probably, again, the autocorrect.
Barry Gordon. God, Barry Gordon looks like this now. That's Barry Gordon now.
He's not as cute as before.
He was cute when he was 15 or 13, but now he's 76 years old. He was born in 1948, so he was actually, when that movie was made, he was 18. Does that make sense? 1965. So he was born in 48. So he was 17.
Playing a 13.
Not playing a 13-year-old.
I mean, that's not uncommon for the movie industry.
He's the longest serving president of the Screen Actors Guild. So let's find out some more of his movie.
His distinguishments, his accomplishments.
Political talk show host. He is perhaps best known for the original voice of Donatello and Bebop in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. He was born in Brookline, Massachusetts, right down the street from me. Acting. He appeared in The Glass, Jackie Gleason. He's in Leave It to Beaver. He in his film debut, 1956, The Girl Can't Help. He was a newspaper boy, which after seeing a picture of James Mansfield uttered the line, "If that's a girl, I don't know what my sister is." So,
Lord.
anyway, you'll love the movie, and promise me. Well, I'll pester you until you watch it sometime over the holidays.
I'll put it on today. Let's see.
And he was the voice of Quickie, the Nestle's Quick Bunny in television. Huh.
Quickie the Quick Bunny? Oh, the Nesquik Bunny.
So do you use your Waterman or whatever pens that you bought from me much?
I have no idea where they went. I'm sorry.
Well,
I should know better. They're somewhere. I can't have lost them.
no, you can't have lost them. But when you go home, see if you can find them, because they are sweet.
They're good. They're good implements. I just don't use them quite as much as I did.
I just ruined this picture of this fish, but that's okay. Big X over that one. Now you're making a rooster, chicken, pigeon, something.
I'm not terribly concerned with taxonomy here. I'm not a member of Congress, so I don't have to worry about taxonomy.
No, you don't have to. Not at all. One time, audience, Russell and I did a drawing YouTube video of the crocoduck, where we imagined what the crocoduck would have looked like. And for those of you that don't know what the crocoduck is, the people that believe in creationism rather than evolution say, show me, smarty pants, where the crocoduck is. And they clearly don't understand how evolution works. If you can randomly pick two animals and assume there has to be something that's in between them, that's not how evolution works.
Not really.
You might find the great grandfather of one animal is the great granddaughter or son of another animal. So they move that way. They don't move between the branches of the tree.
Well, and what they make the mistake that evolution is like a progressive process, by which I mean they make the mistake that the idea, they think that evolution has to happen step by step, right?
Yeah.
Right? They think, okay, it's the little picture you see with man progressing from an ape up to up to a troglodyte up to a Homo sapien, right?
Yep. Yep.
And so and so basically they think that's how evolution works and that's what evolution is, when it is absolutely not that.
It
It's
it
a
is
it's a much more chaotic process than we teach it.
yes. The human and the ape and the gorilla and the chimp and the orangutan all share somewhere way down the way a common denominator, common ancestor. And this group, went this way with things going other directions, but there's no in between a human and an ape. There's only the great grand shared person.
Well, it's more like you have a bunch of apes over here who have matted fur and a bunch of apes over here who have fluffy fur. And some of the matted apes will stay in the warm parts of the jungle and they'll do just fine because their coats are water resistant. And those fluffy apes will end up getting getting too wet and diseased. And so you'll end up finding a lot of them in the colder areas where it's drier and their fluffy fur comes in handy. And then somewhere in the middle of those two places, you find another ape with half matte, half fluffy fur. And then also those apes had a mutation, and some of them have no fur and fingernails. And so it's a completely different process than dinosaur turns into bird, turns into duck, turns into crocodile. In fact, crocodile is probably like closer to dinosaur turns into crocodile, stops.
Yes, the dinosaur and the crocodilian line are different. They're their common denominator might have been some other kind of vertebrate lizard type of creature.
You're gonna have to excuse me. You're gonna have to excuse me. Believe it or not, the man who drew the crocoduck is not an expert on crocodilian history.
No, nor am I. But I do know that when there was a bunch of people that were saying that present day crocodiles, are descendants of dinosaurs. And when that was eventually proven wrong, and that birds, oddly enough, are more closely related to the dinosaurs than the crocodiles are because of their wrist bones or something. It's something entirely you'd think wasn't important, but that's where you see the lineage.
Well, it's those little things that I think make the difference, right?
Yeah. I mean, the little thing that worked for birds was extant in dinosaurs, whereas no amount of imagination is going to make a crocodile into a dinosaur.
No.
Anyway. So you're
biology lesson for today, children.
You're using sort of buff colored paper with white Prismacolor.
Yeah, and some red.
Oh, I see. I didn't see the red. Cool. So when you go, you're going home tomorrow back to your parents'
Not
house?
tomorrow, but Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And you'll do your usual drive through the neighborhoods with all of the houses that are bejeweled and bespangled.
Bejeweled and bespangled. You mean for Christmas?
Yeah.
Yes, I suppose so.
Well, it's been a tradition.
Do you mean the Ogle Bay?
I don't know what it is. You would show me videos of your.
Where we go to the Christmas lights every
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
We did that actually. We had to do that right after Thanksgiving because
Oh,
believe it or not, the amount of time off that they give me at the museum isn't very generous. So
okay.
I mean, I accrue days off, but I try not to use them because I know that there's going to be longer vacations throughout the year.
Yeah,
So if I hadn't taken a day off, I would have only gotten off Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
I see.
But so it just worked out for everybody in the family that it was easiest to do that right after Thanksgiving.
I see.
Rather than worrying about trying to mess around with everybody's schedule.
Do you have your gifts for everyone figured out?
Yes, I've managed to annoy everybody until they told me what they wanted. So yes.
Oh, good. And did you tell them what you wanted?
Yes, I did. I try to be reciprocal with these things.
I know that one year they gave you a how to draw manga. Manga? How do you spell that? I never remember. Manga?
It's manga. It's if you want to get tedious about it, it's pronounced manga, but nobody's going to bother you if you pronounce it any other way.
I just don't. I don't think about it very often, so I never remember how to pronounce it. Magna, magna, right?
Manga, MANGA.
Manga.
Yes.
Okay, manga.
Actually, I might have. Yes, I have a book here that I can show you. Let's bring out some manga.
Well, they gave him a book about how to draw manga girls, and Russell Facemeyer did amazing drawings of manga girls.
So before, where is that? Before I was showing the German guy my beloved Heinrich Clay book with the dinosaur on here, as you can see.
Yeah.
But here's a good one. Do you see it? It's probably backwards.
The mysterious underground men.
The mysterious underground men. So
can you show me an image of one of those mysterious underground men?
Yes, they are. Here they are. If you can, it's sort of hard to see at this angle, but you can see them. They're these guys, and this is their queen. They're termite people.
They're termite people, of course.
Yes. So I did when I represented when I went to the manga convention to do a presentation on Heinrich Clay. I decided I needed to do a little bit more research, and I found something interesting. So in this book, what happens, and I'm showing you this book because it's different from what you see in what you saw in the manga book, right? How to draw manga. This is it's still manga, but it's very old and very different.
Yeah.
So what happens in this book is one of the main characters, John, here is his dad gets in a plane crash. It's a very well illustrated.
Oh dear.
So he gets in a plane crash and he ends up in the hospital, And I'm going to read you out what he says to his son. He says, I hate airplanes. Promise me that when you're older, you'll invent a safer means of transportation. That's my dying wish. So John goes through this book, and there's a whole bit where they make a rabbit as smart as a human being. We're going to skip past that. There's a bit here. And John eventually, yeah, here we are. He eventually builds this this tunneling machine because he wants to build a train that goes underground because he thinks that'll be a safer means of transportation. And just as a bonus, Osamu Tezuka decided to draw fossils, so we're back to dinosaurs again.
Oh, good.
Anyway, so John builds this tunnel, and he's trying to build a tunnel halfway through the earth to make a safer means of transportation. They find the termite men. The termite men try to take over the earth, and stuff happens, and they save the day. But here's the thing: there was a book published by a man called Heinrich Hesse, or something like that. I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what the author's name was, but his book was titled Der Tunnel, the tunnel.
The tunnel. Okay.
So, and it's about a magnate, a big rich guy who decides that he's going to build a giant tunnel that goes through the middle of the earth, and it's really not about him discovering termite men. Instead, it's about him. It's about him trying to build this tunnel and not building it, building it too slow, and then airplanes coming in and making it redundant. So it's a sort of Bildungsroman, right? But so he's stealing ideas from that in this book, but he's also and you can see here, he's looking at this one cartoon from Walt Disney's comics. This one's called Bucky Bug. He's also looking at Dagwood. He's even looking at Milt Gross. You know Milt Gross.
Yeah.
He done her wrong. So he's taking all of these influences from both German and American sources. And one of those sources was Walt Disney, who Heinrich Clay, as you know, because I've told you a million times, was a big influence on Walt Disney. So I don't know why, but that's manga.
Okay, good.
I don't know why I went on that spiel, but I did.
It's just not big-eyed girls.
It's not big-eyed girls. It is
termite men and
monsters. And bug-eyed people.
Yeah. Does Elon Musk read manga? Asks Atomic Elf.
I feel like if you asked him if he read manga, he would tell you yes, because he would think it would make him look cool. It's sort of like, I mean, it's hard for me though to believe that he's a man who apparently can deadlift whatever Olympian athletes, according to his own large language model, would bother to spend his time with manga. But who knows? You saw that here?
I did not see that, but
so there was, somebody asked, I guess it was going around the internet where somebody asked Elon Musk's what do they call it? Grok, somebody asked Grok if Elon Musk can deadlift such and such a weight, and it basically said, yeah, he's the coolest guy ever, he can do it.
Why can't people just admit that they're limited and they're human and it's okay? Why do we have to be the best?
Why can't these guys just admit, though, that all they're really good at is just moving around money? Because that's the capitalist real job.
That's How to be a capitalist.
Like, where did those guys make all of their actual money? PayPal, moving around money.
Yes.
And in fact, when sheep entered the Scottish Highlands, it's just moving around money because they're not using those sheep necessarily for any other reason other than to produce wool, which they intend to create money out of. Granted, it's more complex than that because obviously the kind of cheap product that you get out of the wool is going to flow into the inland empire, right? It's going to flow into Britain, but you're also taking land that people were surviving off of and putting a commodity that is not going to benefit them onto it.
Yeah.
The point isn't necessarily like they called it, like, all of them saw it as inevitable progress, right? They thought these peasants are going to have to leave anyway because they're unproductive and they need to be moved elsewhere because they'll be more productive elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
And where was I going with that?
Well, they'd be perfectly good coal miners. Those farmers. They could do that.
About the farmers in West Virginia. Yes, that's where I was going with it. The point isn't necessarily that they're going to be more productive, because even if they were more productive, it wouldn't have changed. It wouldn't have changed anything whether they had done what they did with the clearances or not. Because if you're going to operate on that model of productivity is inevitable, then the peasants would have left, but they just would have left, in a way that's much more comfortable to them and more economically sustainable, and fewer of them would have left as early as they did. But the point isn't to create more productivity. The point is to create wage labor. Because when the peasants, I suppose they're better called tenants, but when the tenants were kicked off of their land, or were told they were going to get kicked off their land and told, you can go work in the factory, you can go work in the fishery, you can go do this and that, they saw that as, and very rightly, they saw that as basically a decline in their status, but also a decline in the amount of agency they had. Because just think about it. If you own a piece of land, you can do whatever the hell you want on it. As long as you're able to pay the rent, you're fine. You can farm, you can raise cow, you can do whatever. If you instead have no land and have no house and have no assets, the only thing you have to sell is your work. And therefore you are basically condemned to only being able to produce on somebody else's terms.
Yep. Well,
I end up talking about this every time that we speak, not this specific.
Yes. Yes.
So I'll apologize to you and to those of you regular viewers in the audience
Who only hear communist and woke ideology from us.
Well, they hear it mostly from me.
They do. But I agree with you.
Good to know. Good to know that somebody does. I applied for my doctorate.
Oh, and what's your doctorate going to be about?
I mean, you mean, is it going to be it's going to be in art history, obviously.
Okay. Well, what's the subject? What's the term of their art doctorate?
So I've laid it out. They don't necessarily want you to have like a solid plan, or at least the place I applied to, but my focus on research, I'm thinking, is going to be industrial art and also romantic art, by which I mean, romantic art movements as in Gothic, as in esoteric, And because at a certain point, those two get mixed up, right? So you've read Dracula before, right?
Yeah.
What methods do they use to defeat Dracula other than the stake to the heart?
Scientific research and trial and error. I don't remember.
Basically, yes, they're using modern technology like like recorders, like tape recorders, not tape recorders, but you know what I mean. They're using all of these stenography machines. They're using early voice capture technology, if
Okay.
I'm remembering right. So it's technology battling against the monsters. Then in certain things, like with Heinrich Clay, for example, let me see if I can find a good example in here. I'm pretty sure there's got to be one in here. But at a certain point, technology begins to become the monster, right? Because it gets to be from something that is seen as, oh, here's a good one. This is Der Traum des Ingenieurs, yeah. So it's hard to make out, but you can see that there's this train here. The engineer is being crushed by this nightmare of this train and these ships and everything. And it's basically, at least I think, a reference to The Nightmare by Henry Fuseli.
Okay.
And so, technology in this sense becomes this sort of weird semi-Gothic structure and begins to take the form of a nightmare. But I'm to make it short, I'm just mainly focusing on industrial art, which is its own thing, alongside of sort of romantic esoteric art. Think again Fuseli, but also think William Blake.
Okay. So what's an example that you can give me of industrial art?
Industrial art. So Heinrich Clay is actually one example. But let me think of do you know Adolf Menzel?
No, but I can look them up.
So look up Adolf Menzel, the modern Cyclops. That's not the actual name of the painting. I believe it's called Eisenwalz in some city, but it got nicknamed Der Cyclope Modern, right? So the modern Cyclops, because the idea was that the Cyclops were the helpers for who is that Greek god? Hephaestus. And so, you get this idea that the steel works that he's painting are the site of this capture.
There it is.
Right. So there you have all of these workers working. Joseph Wright of Derby too, right?
I probably might. I don't know.
You probably know him if you saw him.
Okay, so when you say industrial art, it's art about industry.
Yes, it is art about industry.
I wasn't sure. I mean, there are some artists and graphic designers and illustrators who idealize the world of the machine. The covers of Fortune magazine were just amazing, machine age looking illustrations of airplane factories and ships and stuff. It's not, but that's all positive.
Well, I'd be covering that too, because that'd be part of it, right? And a lot of those painters were commissioned by those industry men specifically to produce artworks that sort of make their factories look like the most advanced thing ever. But then, of course, you also get artists who are just interested in the phenomenon like Adolf Menzel, and sort of look at it and they see both sides of it, or they just see the drama of it.
Mm-hmm. Here's a Fortune magazine cover with Ben Shahn doing the.
Oh, I would have never thought they would ask Ben Shahn to do Fortune magazine.
Isn't that him? I mean, that's Ben Shahn, isn't
Looks
it?
like Ben Shahn. But why would Fortune magazine, of all places, ask noted socialist Ben Shahn to do the cover for their magazine?
I have
Ben
no idea. It just seems strange. I mean, normally here's a normal sort of image of that era, you know. So very machine age Art Deco looking, very clean.
Very clean and orderly, very idealized, as you said. Even like if a good example would be looking at like the drawings that Walt Disney had his Imagineers do, right, as plans for Epcot and things like that.
Yeah. So here's the full cover of the Ben Shahn cover. So yes, they're I mean, I find the covers beautiful. They're just so striking.
And I mean that's of course the point. I mean, you're supposed to portray it as something that's, I would say, tantalizing, or something that appears, like sci-fi.
Even this cover is weird. It shows an open stamp collector's stamp book on a desk with the light
shining on this stamp.
And it's just like, well, that's wacky.
But I guess I'm interested in, like, there's this logic of what I'd like to think of as the machine, because even when you're talking about forms of magic, that's really just like technology for accessing the numinous. That's a phrase that I learned off of a doctor, not a doctor, but a man who earned his doctorate in religion on YouTube.
Oh, YouTube University, huh?
Yes, YouTube University. I'm a long time student. But this guy actually does have credentials.
Cool. I'm hitting a little tiny brick wall right now, so I think what I might do is say goodbye to you. Okay. And I'm gonna drink some water and maybe turn on a BBC radio play and close my eyes for a little bit.
Sounds like a plan.
But I want you to do put on 1,000 Clowns, and I'll text you the link to it, and I think you'll get a kick out of it. Okay. Murray is my hero. So is the little kid. But anyway, you be good.
All right. I will talk to you later.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.